there, it's me, Crystal. So today I thought it would be fun to challenge myself to unhaul some books. And I first saw this unhaul challenge on Murphy and the Pierce channel this past summer. And then the original video was made by Books and Lala, I think a few years ago. And so I will link both of those videos below so you can see Books and Lala's explanation for like how she structured this challenge and why. And then I will link Murphy's video below if you want to see her interpretation of this challenge. And I planned on doing this a few months ago, but when I tried, I was like stressed out, like trying to make a decision. And so I decided to try to do this challenge later. And so now it's later. All right, so there are 10 prompts. And so the goal is to unhaul one or more books for every single prompt. And so I am going to go ahead and say that I am guaranteeing that I'm going to unhaul 10 or more books in this video. I don't know if I can unhaul a book for every single prompt, but I will definitely unhaul probably more than one book for some prompts maybe. So we'll do a book count at the end of this video and there will be 10 or more books, guaranteed. All right, I've already unhauled about 90 something books this year. And I was kind of inspired to do this because I have 2 books on my unhaul cart right now, ready to leave the house. And so it's like, while I'm unhauling books, why not see if there's anything else that I want to unhaul with those other books. And I'm not going to count those 2 books because I think that's cheating. So these are all going to be books that are not already on my cart. Okay. All right, so the first prompt is a book you rated low. So I don't have anything in the house that I've rated less than 3 stars. I don't think, except for that one book that's already on the unhaul cart, which doesn't count. So it's definitely going to be a book I gave 3 stars to. Let's see how long this takes, and I'll tell you how long it takes at the end of the video. Because I have a feeling it's going to take a while. All right, I don't want to talk about how long this took. But I've gotten off to a really good start. So off the bat, I have 3 books. They're all poetry books. And they're all poetry books I've given 3 stars to. I do have at least one more poetry book. I think maybe only one more poetry book on my shelf that I rated 3 stars. But I wanted to keep that one for now. So I picked The Glimmer Glass Girl by Holly Lynn Walrath. I just didn't like the style of poetry. And then I have these 2. So I have Pillow Thoughts Volume 3 and Pillow Thoughts Volume 4. I'm keeping Pillow Thoughts Volumes 1 and 2. I liked both of those, but by the time I got to these, I was just kind of like worn out by like the themes that she is always talking about. I've talked about this before. She's like a one-trick pony over here. So yeah, these are both by Courtney Peppernell, and I mainly just wanted to get rid of this one, but because there were 2 poems in here that I really liked, but I was like, I can just write them down and I don't have to keep the whole book for that, you know. So 1 prompt into the video and I already unhauled 3 books, so only 7 more to go. Things are looking up. I mean, it took a while, but things are looking up. Okay, so prompt number 2 is a book you changed your mind about, and Books and Lala said this could be a book that you read that you have since decided that you don't like as much for whatever reason, or it could be a book that you wanted to read at some point and now you don't want to read it anymore. So let's find a book for this. All right, so the book that I picked is this one, The Winter Sisters by Tim Westover. I decided that I don't want to read this anymore. I think I got it when it first came out a couple of years ago. And when it came in and I was flipping through it like I tend to do, and I saw the way the book was formatted, it just didn't inspire a lot of confidence. I know that sounds really shallow, but I just have had a bad experience with books with wonky formatting. And so I tried to get over it. I don't want to read it anymore because of that, which sounds bad. But let's not harp on it, okay? Moving on. All right, 4 books. Doing well. So the third prompt is a series you won't be completing. So if you know anything about my reading taste, you know I'm not a big fan of series, so I don't really have a lot to choose from here, especially if I'm just focusing on books with a book one that I've actually read. So just kind of like skimming through things, looking at the shelves behind me. Basically, so you know what my options are. I was just rambling for I don't know how long about trying to talk myself through this, trying to make a decision. Anyway, so I have Twilight that I've started and not finished, Vampire Academy. Technically, I've started Fallen by Lauren Kate, but I didn't finish book one, but I still want to read book one. I have the Splinter series by A.G. Howard. The You series by Caroline Kepnes. There's one book left to read. I still really want to read that book. I have The Bear and the Nightingale. I've read book one. I haven't finished it yet. Still want to finish that series. And the Witcher series. That I've read The Last Wish. I still want to read more in that series. So those are all the series I can think of that I've read at least one book and haven't finished the series yet. I don't think I'm missing anything. Okay, this needs to happen. I feel bad. Okay, I really like this author, like, as a person, so I feel kind of bad, but out of the series that I've read and haven't finished, this series I'm probably not going to finish for a couple of reasons. So it is the Splinter series by A.G. Howard. I read book one. I liked book one, but I had a hard time with this book because of the way it's written. There's something about the ending to this book that I didn't like either. So and I read this novella. I think it's a novella, the short story that happens between this book and the second book, which is Unhinged, and I hated it because it was just like not necessary. And also I found out in that novella that Morpheus, okay, I thought A.G. Howard had created this very unique kind of like moth creature, and so I thought he was like half moth, half man. And I thought that was really interesting. And I found out in that short story novella or whatever that he was a fairy. And I was so disappointed. And I don't dislike fae creatures or whatever, but I was just so disappointed because I thought she had done something very different and unique. And I was just really disappointed, okay? I don't know why it bothers me so much, but it does. And because of the way the book is written, even though I really like the story and I really like the idea, I didn't like the writing and I didn't like the way she ended it either. And so I've heard some things about how this her book ends. I've actually read the ending to this book since then, but I just don't like it, and I don't want to put myself through 2 more books. So it needs to happen. I'm going to unhaul the Splinter Trilogy, and as a result, this collection of short stories set in the Splintered world, and also this really pretty booklet that we got as a pre-order incentive for one of her other books. I got number 271 of 1,000. That's nice. But does this count as a book? But I should probably just unhaul the whole kit and caboodle, as they say, right? So that would be, what, 5 books? That was a really hard decision to make, but it needs to happen because I'm not going to finish that series. I don't want to. Okay, prompt number 4 is a book that you DNF'd. So a book that I did not finish. I don't usually keep books that I've DNF'd. They're actually the second book that I already have on my Unhaul cart, on the Unhaul portion of my book cart, is a DNF. But that doesn't count, so let's find another one if I can. Yeah, because when I DNF a book, I unhaul it immediately. Let me see what I can do. This is taking forever. Forever. Hi. Okay, you guys don't know how long this video is on my end, but it doesn't matter. So, I have this, and this is The Queen's Bargain by Anne Bishop. Not liking the way this book is written. Okay, this is what happened, just in case you didn't see the book haul that these books were in. I saw this book, and I thought this book sounded interesting, and I liked this cover, and so I picked this up, and I got home, and I realized that this was book 11 out of 11. And so at first I was like, oh my gosh, do I have to take this book back because I'm not reading 10 books. But when I looked it up, it said that the series started over with book 10, and that book 10, which is this book, is a continuation of the original series, and you don't have to read the original series to read this book. And so I went ahead and picked this up, but I wasn't liking the very beginning of this book. So I'm going to unhaul both of these because if I no longer want to read this book, then probably I'm not going to understand this one. So 2 more books. I feel good about that. Okay, what's next? 5. The 5th prompt is a book you have multiple copies of. Most of the books I have multiple copies of are on my classics bookcase. I have a dedicated bookshelf for all of my classics and stuff. So let me go over there. Although I already know which 2 books I'm going to grab because it's bothering me. All right, so somehow I ended up with 2 copies of this. So this is The Story of King Arthur and His Knights by Howard Pyle. Both of these are Barnes & Noble books, and sometimes they change the cover. And I saw this one day and it was like, that is so pretty. So I got it, and then when I got home, I saw that I already had this one. So I was like, that's fine. I'll just keep both of them. But it's been bothering me that I have 2 copies of this book because I don't want 2 copies of this book. Like, I'm okay having like 2-3 copies of Pride and Prejudice or whatever. And like, I don't know how many copies of Edgar Allan Poe and how many copies of Shakespeare. I think like 3 copies of Shakespeare. Actually, I think it's 2 anyway. But I don't want 2 copies of these. I was leaning towards this one, but I actually think I like this one better. So I was thinking about this one because like the silver edges on this one are shinier, and it's purple, and I love purple. I was so sure that I was gonna unhaul this one, but yeah, I think I'm gonna unhaul this one. And we're going to put this one back on the shelf. Okay, prompt 6 is a book you'll never actually get to. Let's be honest with ourselves, right? The first thing that came to mind was City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. But I just really don't want to unhaul that book, okay? I don't know why. All right, so I have a few books. So I picked up these novellas. So this showed up on my TBR for September, I want to say. And I think it was September, doesn't matter. And I started reading it. And I don't like the way the story is being told. So I think we're just going to unhaul this. This is Poison by Sarah Pinborough. And then there are 2 other ones, Charm and Beauty. And I really like fairy tale retellings, but I'm also just like kind of, I don't know if it's picky. I think I'm kind of hard on them. I like to describe it as like saying I have a very short fuse. I have a very short fuse for retellings if I don't like something. It wasn't like that bad. I just didn't want to read it, and I want to read books that I want to read because it like makes a difference. Like right now I'm reading 3 books at the same time, and all 3 books are very engaging, and I really like all of them, and I want to read all of them. So And I didn't want to continue reading this after I read the beginning. So we're just gonna unhaul these 3. So 3 more books. I'm doing a lot better than I thought. It's taking forever, but I think I'm doing a really good job. So, okay, so prompt 7 is a book you bought because of the hype. I mean, one of those would probably be Shadow and Bone, but I want to give it a Shadow and Bone. Or Six of Crows. It wasn't Shadow and Bone. It was Six of Crows. I bought Six of Crows because I heard a lot of people talking about how it's like a really good fantasy book. But I want to get rid of Six of Crows because I was really enjoying it when I was reading it. I wasn't quite in the mood for it when I was reading it earlier this year, but I did think it was really interesting. I still really want to read it, so no. I mean, I bought Lore because of the hype. I still want to read Lore. I haven't even tried to read it. I haven't even like opened it. Okay, so the only book I can think of that I bought specifically because of the hype that I have read, because everything I bought because of the hype that I haven't read I still want to read. So the only book that I have read that I bought because of the hype that I would even consider getting rid of is The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. It's this book. Here's the problem I'm having, okay? I've been sitting here way too long thinking about this. Okay, here's a problem I'm having, is that I really enjoyed reading this book until the very end, and there was like, I don't know, 3 to 5 pages that pissed me off so bad. It just ruined everything, okay? Like, I was on cloud 9, and then like those 3 to 5 pages, I don't remember how many there were now, but I talked about it in my reading wrap up for the month I read this, and I went from a 19 to like a 3. It's a really hard fall, and even though the ending was perfect and lovely and beautiful, I just didn't recover. And so now I look at this book and I just have mixed feelings. So I want to keep it because I really enjoyed it, but I don't think I can read it again because of those few pages at the end. Just pissed me off. I don't know what to do. Like, will I miss this if I unhaul it? I think I should unhaul it. I'm thinking, I need help, okay? When I think about this book, I feel that like fall, that hard fall that I had all over again. I cannot make a decision. This is going very badly. See, like, Books and Lala unhauled like 20-something books in like 10 minutes. Well, her video was 10 minutes. I don't know how long it actually took her to make a decision. I'm sure it didn't take her as long as it's taken me to make a decision. I wonder how long I've been sitting here. I'll look at it when I'm editing. Because I don't think it upsets me to see it on the shelf. It kind of upsets me a little bit to think about it. It is embarrassing how long I've been sitting here with this book. I'm gonna unhaul this book. I think just like with the Splintered books, I just think it needs to happen. Because I feel a little sick thinking about it. Like thinking about this book and reading it again. We're unhauling this book. Decision made. Moving on. I've been sitting here so long, the screensavers come on the computer where the questions are. I still want to read more books by Trisha Levenseller. I just hope they don't end the way that book ended. I feel sick thinking about it. But this definitely works with this prompt because I bought this book because of I've heard multiple YouTubers talk about either whether they loved it or hate it. It sounded like it was really fun, and it was fun to a point. Okay, prompt 8, finally. A book you bought because of the cover. That's can be like almost any book that I have. But let's see if I can find something and not be here for an hour. You guys should see how long this video is. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I've made an executive decision. So I was thinking about like the Splinter Trilogy and how I don't want to read them anymore because while I really like A.G. Howard as a person, I don't appear to like her writing style or the way she handles her plots, even though I really like her ideas. I think the ideas are great. But if we're having a plot execution problem, you know, I don't think that's going to be limited to just, you know, one series. There's a couple things going on here. I bought this book, but this cover is really pretty. I wanted to get it because it sounded interesting. She said it was a Princess and the Pea retelling, but when I tried to read this book, I wasn't really liking the way the story was told, and I just don't think I like her writing or something. And like I said, there's also some plot execution problems that I feel like keep coming up. I decided to just go ahead and unhaul these two. I took a while, you know, to like make this decision, but again, I don't think I'm going to read them because I have had some of these books for a while. I got this book the year it came out. It came out in 2017. It's been 4 years and it's a Phantom of the Opera retelling and I haven't picked it up. Like, there's a reason for that, okay? Love Phantom of the Opera. Is my favorite musical of all time. So I think I'm just going to unhaul the rest of her books that I have and move on. So we have Stain. We're going to unhaul Roseblood. And then while I'm at it, she has these indie published books of like new adult paranormal historical romances, and I think maybe she's just not the author for me, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of these as well. Again, I think the reason why I haven't tried to read this or Roseblood was because of the experience I had reading Splintered, and I just didn't trust her, and I was just waiting for the stress to wear off, and the stress turns into general disinterest, I guess. So we have The Architect of Song, The Glass Butterfly, and The Hummingbird Heart. I just think it's for the best. Okay, so prompt number 9, a book you don't know anything about. Okay, so this one was easy. I picked this one. This came in a Fairy Loot box. August's box, I think. And I didn't know anything about this book when it showed up in the box. I know quite a bit about it now. And I was reading this book and I really liked the writing in this. And I liked the thought of it because, okay, this is how my brain works. So, you know, okay, this is After Love by Tanya Byrne. And the tagline says, not even death will tear them apart. And so the way my brain works, that read sinister to me. But when I started reading the book, I was like, this doesn't have a sinister vibe. And it's like more of a romance. And that's one of my peeves, is when people have like this supernatural world. I don't like it when the paranormal elements are just wallpaper. If you have a paranormal romance, I want the paranormal stuff to be a part of the book. You know what I'm saying? So also I know how this book ends because I accidentally saw some spoilers. And I was still going to read it anyway because I really like the writing. But then I'm just like, why? I don't think I'm going to like the story. So why? You know? And also, I would not pick this book up on my own, which is fine. I still think it works for this prompt because I didn't know anything about it when it showed up. And of course, with the way my brain works, I would think that this book is way darker than it actually is. It's more of a cute, it seems like it's really cute and fun. But that's just not what I want out of a Reaper. I have a book that has a Grim Reaper in it. That's all. Okay. I really didn't think that I would pick a book for every single prompt, so I'm really proud of myself. And so there's only one prompt left. This is going to be so much fun to edit. And the last prompt is a book you didn't buy. So the book I picked is this. This is High Performance Habits by Brandon Bouchard. So I did like a year subscription thing with Thrive Market. I don't know how much it is. And you get like a discount off of pantry foods. And then, so I did that for a year. This came free in one of my orders. And I was like, that's fine. It's about being productive and whatever. It says how extraordinary people become that way. But since I've gotten this book, I've just decided that I don't like this kind of advice where it's all about like performance and hustling. Okay, so I was talking and I forgot to hit record. So it's the next day. My phone died on me. I had 30% battery life when I sat down to film, and I was like, oh, that's plenty of time to film a 30-minute video. But like, no, I was filming for well over an hour because that's how long it took me to make a decision. And my phone just cut off on me. And I thought I lost everything because when I got my phone turned back on, like this video was nowhere to be found. And then I checked again a couple of hours later when I went to sleep and it was still not there. So I was like, I guess I'm refilming this video. But luckily, you just watched the footage. I decided to check one more time before I sat down to film. Where I thought to refilm this video, and my video was there, and I felt like it should have been. I was going to check the trash to see if maybe it accidentally deleted or something, but no, it was there where it should be, where it should have been all along. I just feel like technology has progressed to the point that I shouldn't have lost my video, because I'm like, all I have to do to save my video is to stop filming, and it stopped filming when it cut off. Now, maybe it did give me a warning and I didn't see it when I was away from the camera, like grabbing books and looking at my shelves or whatever, but it was a little rude. And by the time my phone was charged up enough, I was too tired. So I was talking about this book and I said everything I wanted to say. But this is the last book for the last prompt, for the 10th prompt. So I have a total of 23 books if I include this little booklet, and I am going to include it. So I have unhauled 23 books in this video, and I'm like really proud of myself because I didn't think, I thought I would struggle to get 10, you know, and I doubled that. I've more than doubled that. So I'm really proud of myself. Let me know if you're going to do this challenge on your own and how many books that you managed to unhaul if you do this. Would you like to clear clutter out over here? Anyway, that's all for this video. And yeah, I will see you guys later. And I hope your October is going well. Hope you are doing well. And I will see you next week. Bye.